Hello there, people of the internet. That sun is just right in my face and it's slowly going down, so it's going to get even worse as the day goes on. Here, living in the northern part of the state of Florida, there's a lot of farmland out here, and what happens when you get farmland? You get farmers, and a lot of these old farmers, a lot of them are, quite up there in years, but they have old school equipment, and a lot of them are still rocking lever actions that their grandfather had way back in the day, or maybe their great grandfather, or whoever it is that we're talking about. But a lot of these people are still rocking these old school designs, and their philosophy is it works, so why would I get anything different? And I can understand as like a ranch rifle or a range rifle or something like that, that is definitely more than adequate. However, a lot of these people also have the same philosophy of using that, extremely old, worn out, century old rifle at this point, that quite worn out old rifle for defensive purposes in the event that they end up needing it. And I gotta tell you, I mean, we're gonna talk specifically about like old school cowboy action style firearms. But there's plenty of people out there who are rocking old milsurp rifles, like old school bolt actions and whatnot, talking about how those are still viable as well. Well, I definitely wholeheartedly and absolutely disagree with that. We got Kevin screaming in the background. Oh, he's about to scream more. Here comes the dog. There he goes. Oh, he's on the roof now. Yeah, Kevin does not like the dog. But anyway, we got these people rocking these old school designs. I would personally take a lever action over a bolt action. Bolt actions definitely have their pros, but they also have a lot of cons, and lever actions are just way faster to run. And they tend to lend themselves to more rapid fire. Not only that, but if you have yourself a Kingsgate system, then you can top one, or you can top off your tube magazine in the particular case of this lever action that I have here. But you can top off your magazine without having to open up the bolt, expunge around, and now you're having empty chamber. So if something happens, you're pretty much defenseless until you close that bolt. But anyway, long story short, I'd prefer a lever action over a bolt action rifle. But anyway, there's a lot of people that I know that are, up there in years, and they are still rocking these old school designs. And in this particular case, just because of the area that I'm in, a lot of them are like old school cowboy action designs, such as lever actions and single action revolvers. You'd be amazed at how many elderly people are still rocking their, grandpas or great grandpas firearms, and they never bother to go out and get themselves something more modern. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some of the cons to doing that. Personally, I would want the most modern, cutting-edge technology that I can possibly get my hands on. If you have Farmer Joe out there with his lever action rifle, and somebody wants Farmer Joe gone, and they are armed, hell, this right here is even a retro rifle build. But if they are armed with something like this that has some kind of night vision setup on it, and I mean just the most rudimentary cheap version of night vision to where they can see Farmer Joe, but Farmer Joe can't see them because he refuses to update his technology from the late 1800s. This guy right here would be able to take out Farmer Joe in an absolute instant. Or for this, I guess probably one of the worst issues, the worst cons for the lever action system. They tend to run tube-fed magazines. Now, if you get yourself a magazine-fed one, you're still going to have severe capacity limitations in comparison to something like a semi-automatic platform, a more modular, more modern semi-automatic platform. There are magazine-fed lever-action rifles out there, but like I said, you still suffer from the same lack of capacity. If you have yourself a short length carbine like what I have here, then you can only stick so many rounds in it. As the tube gets longer, of course the barrel will have to get longer as well to match the length of the tube, but that will also increase your magazine capacity. However, that does make the gun longer and more cumbersome, and not necessarily something that you would want for in-house fighting. Now, you do have more of a capacity based off of how small your ammunition is as well, and that's one of the things I really don't like about the lever action system. In a home defense situation, you can get away with having like a PCC, a pistol caliber carbine style lever action, or just some kind of pistol caliber lever action. It could be rifle length for all I care. But this right here is a carbine length lever action in 357, and it holds 9 rounds of 357. And 9 rounds of 357 is absolutely not something that I would want to take on. But if I had to take on somebody with a lever action, I would not go and choose myself another lever action. I would pick myself the most modern version of technology that I could possibly get my hands on. So you have your 9 rounds of 357, and I mean, that's all fine and dandy. Well, somebody with an AR has a standard capacity magazine of 30 rounds of ammunition. This is not a standard capacity magazine. This is, in fact, a 20-round capacity magazine, so well within the guidelines of YouTube's community standards. Hi there, YouTube's reviewer. Good to see ya. But you have somebody with a much, much higher round capacity and much more powerful ammunition. 357 short range inside of a household or something like that, yes, that will work just fine. But if you are in an area like I am in, and somebody might start popping off shots at you from 500 yards away, then a pistol caliber is absolutely not something that you would want, and I would prefer some kind of full-length rifle caliber. Now, you could go with a more powerful rifle caliber for your lever action, like say a 30-30, although still at 500 yards, good luck. But you could go with a more powerful rifle round, like they make 308 chambered lever action rifles, but you still fall into the realm of having a severe lack of capacity. Now, that being said, if you still are rocking a tube-fed magazine and you have a Kingsgate on the back, well, let's say you're out there yeeing your ha and you're running your lever action. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and I'll throw on my headphones here and run my lever action. But if you are in a situation where you have to run your lever action for defensive purposes, and whoever you're up against, maybe there's multiple assailants, and maybe they are also armed but with more modern stuff, so now you are already at a severe disadvantage. You know, they've got more people, they've got more guns, they've got more ammo, they can send more lead downrange than you can. But if you're out there and you got your rounds, well, notice, go ahead and get that out there. Oh boy, these old school designs, right? Notice that whenever I'm out of ammunition, I go click, nothing happens. Well, I have to go through and 1 round at a time pull them out of my pocket or ammo belt or whatever system it is I'm rocking and load those rounds 1 at a time into this Kingsgate to get another very limiting capacity of 9 rounds of ammunition. But if somebody has something like this, and for whatever reason, if they find themselves out of ammunition, all they do, old mag out, new mag in, you press this bolt release down on the side, and you are absolutely good to go to send way more lead downrange than that lever action guy ever could. Way faster than that lever action guy ever could. And if you are the invading force and you have the advantage of having multiple people, I would not want to be a lever action guy. So, my philosophy, yes, if you want it, get it. Obviously, I have both of these because, well, this one right here is a retro rifle build that I use for range fun and my YouTube channel and whatnot. It's less scary looking than some of the other AR platforms that are out there. But if you want to specifically choose one, I would definitely choose the best technology that you can get your hands on versus Grandpa's rotted out old lever action rifle, even if it still works. I mean, I have seen these guns literally from like the start of the existence of the lever action that are still in working order. They last forever. But they are absolutely not a design that I would want to go up against. Well, they're not a design I would want to use if I was going up against a more modern technology. Plenty of people out there will tell you, if I had this, I would not feel undergunned. Well, if you had that under, you know, fire from a couple of assailants armed with AR-15s, yeah, you would feel undergunned, I promise you, especially if all you have is your 9-shot tube magazine and you don't have any rounds in a bandolier or something that you have strapped on you. I don't know what your setup is. Maybe you just keep a lever action in your car when you're in a Walmart parking lot, and it just so happens that 3 dudes in an SUV decide to themselves, hey, this guy looks like a juicy opportunity, so you grab your lever action, you start popping off shots at them. But lo and behold, I don't know, insert scenario here, maybe they got some kind of soft body armor that you didn't know, so your 357 is officially ineffective against them. even if you do have 9 shots of it, and they have ARs with 30-round mags, and they just send a freaking hailstorm of lead down at you. Just, I would not want to limit myself with a Cowboy action firearm in comparison to what modern day is able to provide, what modern day is able to put down range. So a lot of people out there, they can shoot these very well and they can reload very well, but the bottom line is, like, there's people out there who like go to competitions and they can do some incredible stuff with these rifles. But those incredible feats, like, we're talking people that have been training with these things for a tremendous amount of time, and if you cannot match that speed, then don't just say, hey, look at this, look at what this can do, it's just as good. I'm like, all right, let's see you do that. And they're like, well, I guess I can't. I'm not a trained professional, and I go to the range once every 5 years. But anyway, that's a rant in itself. There's people out there that are able to run these things, like, incredibly, absolutely amazingly, but as amazing as they run these things, they are still about, like, the best of those guys is still about as good as an average, moderate semi-automatic user. And we're not even talking about reload times, we're just talking about the actual cycling of the action. And if you have yourself a lever action with a tube magazine, I don't care how fast you are at reloading that thing, you are not going to be faster than somebody who can reload this thing and have, you know, another 30-round mag or a 60-round mag or a 100-round drum in this thing within, like, hell, some people can do that in less than a second. I would not want to limit myself with some kind of manually operated firearm for defensive purposes if my assailant also has a modern firearm that I'm going up against. Now, if I have this carbine and they have, say, some kind of handgun, then it's a different story, and most of your assailants that decide to attack are going to be armed with handguns, but I am not going to bet my life on the statistic of most. I would definitely prefer having as much as I can to be able to handle the situation instead of just deciding, well, this is good enough. So thanks for watching, folks. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are down below. I am eager to hear what y'all have to say on this one. I bet this is going to stir up some controversy. I'm going to go ahead and get my face out of the sun because, boy, is it doing hell on my eyes. I got my hat, like, kind of covering my eyes, but it's still very bright, reflecting off my glasses. So I'm probably going to pack it in for the day because the sun's going down. Thanks for watching. You guys go off, have a fantastic day. Like, subscribe, share. Description has a bunch of links. Go ahead and go check that out. And I will see you guys on the next video. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. Shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.